Good morning, guys. It is actually Monday, and this morning has been a little rough, I think, due to, we were celebrating Ken's birthday over the weekend, and his family left yesterday on Sunday, and then there was the time change. So this morning, I actually slept until like 7:30. I think just from the activities over the weekend and everything, I was exhausted. And then, this morning I got up and I had to get stuff edited and uploaded to YouTube for this week's videos, because usually I would do it over the weekend, but because everybody was here, I didn't do all that. But something I did want to share today and talk about is the fact that I am going to see a OBGYN today. And I haven't been to the doctor. I haven't probably been to the doctor in like a couple of years. And we used to have insurance through our old company. And then when we decided to move to the next company that we went to, they didn't have insurance. And we just never got insurance. And then when Ken went back to work for his old company, they stopped offering insurance, but they told the insurance company that we were looking for insurance. So recently we, just in the beginning of March, got covered. And I told Ken that once I got covered with insurance, I would like to go to a doctor, since we are trying to conceive a baby, that I would like to go to a doctor and just talk to them about, my irregular periods and trying to figure out when I'm ovulating, because I think I know, but I'm not 100% sure, and kind of talk about how I've been trying to take my temperature and trying to do these ovulation tests, and how last month I never got a positive ovulation test, so that kind of made me worry. And the very first time I got a pap smear, it came back that I had crusts on my ovaries, and at the time she said, they're not cancerous, they're kind of small and you only have a few, and when your period comes, they would come off during your period. So I'm kind of concerned about that, since I haven't had a pap smear since then. It's been a couple years, and that makes me kind of worry. Maybe that's why I have irregular periods. But I just kind of want to talk about everything and get everything out there and share my feelings and see what they say. So I kind of thought I would just share this with you guys as well, since this is something new for me, and maybe, other people who have had irregular periods or crusts on their ovaries might, have a little bit more insight, because I really don't know. And I just kind of want to bring you along, because this is kind of gonna go along in my trying to conceive to pregnancy journey. And I'm not really sure if I'm going to share this video like before I start that series, or maybe I'll just share it kind of going into that series. But I'm just gonna bring you along today, and we're gonna see what they say, and hopefully everything is good news. Not really sure like what they'll do today. Maybe I don't know if it's just gonna be more like a talking and figuring out things. And mostly because me and Ken have been trying for 2 months. In the last 2 months we haven't gotten pregnant, so this is the third month of trying. And I know usually you wait until you're like a year trying before you go to a doctor and talk about it, but just because of the way my periods are, I kind of just want to talk about it and figure stuff out now. So like I said, I'm just going to bring you along. So after Ken gets home from work, my appointment is at 3, so we'll probably end up going, and they want you to be there at 2:45, and it's probably fill out like paperwork and all that. So once we get there, I will talk to you guys about it afterwards, and update you on what's going on. So Ken just got home, and my appointment is at 3, but they want me there at 2:45 just to fill out paperwork and everything. And Dr. doctor office, my goodness, is about 30 minutes away. So we're probably going to leave soon, get there, figure out where we need to go and all that. And then I will talk to you guys probably after we're done. Probably not on the way home, but maybe after we get home. So it is obviously the next day. I was supposed to, I got up at 5 a.m., was going to get work done today, but I've been in some type of like funk. And I decided I'm just going to give myself a day to just relax. But I wanted to tell you guys that the appointment went amazingly. The doctor we met with, he seemed like he knew exactly what he was talking about. I just talked to him about, how my periods have been and the feelings I've been going through. And we did end up doing a pap smear. And I felt comfortable because Ken was able to be in the room with me, because I was just a little nervous with him being a guy doctor, and you don't know what to expect. And when you're dealing with the female anatomy, you would rather have a woman. But he, like I said, he was so great. He listened to me, he checked me out, he said everything looks amazing. He gave me this packet he put together that explains like why your periods could be irregular. And in 2 weeks I go back and we are going to decide if we're going to put me on medicine or not to help my periods become regular. Because he said what could be happening is that because my periods are so long in length apart from each other, there could be a chance that I'm not ovulating because my body doesn't have enough estrogen to tell my body to release the egg. And he said that could be what's happening. So he, even in this packet, just like reading it, it like explains everything, and it says when ovulation happens, it's because your periods are every 27 to 29 days. And for me, my periods right now are in between each one are like 35 to 36 days in between each other. So he said, with that happening, there could be a chance that my estrogen in my body never lowers enough to tell my body to ovulate and drop an egg. So he said even if I am ovulating sometimes, my body's just not going through that motion. And to help with that, you get on medication that you start taking that regulates your periods and that tells your body to release the egg so you can get pregnant. So he said, read this packet a couple times, write down all your questions, and then in 2 weeks, so March 25th, I go back to him and we talk about any questions I have, any concerns I have, and then we figure out the next step to go forward. And something that Ken said is we haven't been trying that long, so, one of the questions we're going to ask is, how long do people usually wait before they start taking the medicine, or what's like standard? And, I know that for a lot of people who don't get pregnant, they do like recommend sometimes going like a year of trying. But I think because I know my periods are irregular, I might not be ovulating at all, and it might, take me even longer. And eventually I think you would be put on medication to, get pregnant. So again, we wrote down all of our questions, all of our concerns, and then I go back and I see him, and then we go from there. So I will keep you guys updated along this journey because I think it's important to share in case anybody else has, gone through this, trying to conceive process with irregular periods. And I'm assuming that once you start taking the medicine, you might get pregnant fast because the packet did say once you start taking the medicine at the end of the cycle, you take a pregnancy test. If you're not pregnant, then you talk with him and you figure out if the medicine is working, or if you don't think it's working, or the side effects for it, because there are some. And again, I think when I see him again, he'll go over everything. Ken's gonna go back with me just so we can, get all the information. and figure out what is best for us. But again, I was really nervous just because he was a male doctor, and my regular doctor that I always saw was a female, but I felt comfortable having Ken there. Ken felt comfortable with him. We both felt like he listened to all my concerns, everything that I was talking about. He, talked to us about what he thinks is going on. He was very knowledgeable about what we were saying and our concerns and all that stuff and how we were feeling. And at the end of it, we just felt really nice. And he was somebody that we asked, if we do end up getting pregnant and, going through, pregnancy, everything, is he a doctor that we could use as our doctor all the way up till, childbirth? And he said he does that. That option, again, is up to us because some people, go with different doctors. But if we choose him, then we can have him as our doctor. And I think Ken and me both agreed that with how he was and, how quick everything was and how he answered our questions, when we get pregnant, we would absolutely love to have him as our doctor. And like Ken said, in the future, going by myself would probably get a little bit easier and more comfortable. But just because, again, I was nervous and everything, having Ken there the first few times I see him, it's just going to be best for me to feel more comfortable. So I just wanted to update you guys because last night when we got home, we were just looking over things and I was Googling stuff and just looking over the information. I called and talked to my mom, updating her and everything, and chatted with her. And then we ate dinner, and then we just kind of sat around and relaxed. But then this morning I realized that I never, obviously talked to you guys and updated you guys about how it went, and thought I'd come on and tell you. So this is going to be another journey for me. I always knew that my periods were irregular because I think they've been like that for a long time now. And that was one of the things I told myself when I got insurance. I was going to the doctor and I was talking to somebody and figuring out what I needed to do, because having irregular periods, there's a chance you're not ovulating, and that makes it harder for you to get pregnant. So I'm just taking the steps that I can take to, get pregnant and then have a healthy pregnancy. And knowing that after my pap smear that everything looks normal, that nothing, from what they can see is wrong, feels amazing too. Because I was a little worried about that. But I am feeling good and feeling ready to, see where the future goes. And I'm going to bring you guys along because I like, sharing things with you guys just in case there's somebody out there that is either going through it or has gone through it and wants to share, their story with me, or the medicines they took, or if it worked for them. And I kind of just want to do that as well. So I am going to eat some lunch and just relax the rest of the day. Hopefully tomorrow I can get myself out of this funk. I kind of also think it's because of the time change. I think it's just been throwing my body off, and I've just been really tired. Like this morning I woke up and then I took a nap, and then by the time I got up again I was like, yeah, I need to just stay awake and not go back to sleep. So hopefully tomorrow's better and I can get some of my videos recorded for next week and get everything rolling and have a better day. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I'm going to eat some lunch and I will talk to you again real soon.